Hello everyone, welcome back to Hero Wars Guide. Today I'm going to talk about the minion phase of the Asgard raid, and this is going to be the first in a series of videos that I'll put out about the raid in general. I'm going to do it in smaller blocks just so each video is a little bit shorter and quick to get through, and you can find any individual topic that you're looking for nice and easily. So just a few points that I have here on the overall minion phase. I'm not going to get into the individual tactics of how to fight these squads here. This is just going to be the way to approach the minion phase in general. So you can see here that I'm pulling this up on a Thursday just based on which nodes are available here. And that's my first tip in this section, is to wait until Thursday so that you have all of the battle options available to you, and you can fight them in the order that makes the most sense for you rather than the order that the game just happens to unlock them. And there are some differences there in the order that you want to attack these things. If you've not looked at these things too closely, you may not have noticed, but the rewards are going to be different squad to squad. So you can see these mini bosses here. They give you these amounts will vary depending on the level that your guild has set, but in general, you can use these as a guide. They'll move in scale according to the level that you have set. These are the 130 rewards. And anyway, so you can see here there's 52 Valor. You do have the Greater Insignia 13, 6,900 Star Mana, although that is kind of a joke resource unless you spend a ton of money at the Seer. So 52 and 13 are the key numbers to look at there. By comparison, this node with a couple of squads gives more Valor but less mana and no insignia whatsoever. And if I pull up one of the 3 squad battles, you can see that's 120 Valor and 13 Greater Insignia. And if you're someone that is going to clean up every single one of these fights, that's a minor point. But if you're someone who is going to fail on one of these, then the rewards that come out of each node should be an input into what you're going to skip. And in particular, this battle here is very low reward. I believe this is the only one of the nodes that has a squad that only has one fight to it. Maybe there's a second one like that, but in any case, you can see there's only 26 Valor coming out of this thing, and not even the radiant crystals, just the lower 2 types. So if last week you were at the same level, you failed a battle, probably one of the bosses, the mini bosses, or the 3 squad minion fight, you should consider going 2 attempts against that 3 squad fight or that mini boss rather than defeating this single squad raid here and then only finishing a boss halfway off, because you only get the rewards if you completely win the fight. You get a portion of the Valor depending on the percentage of the damage that you do, but you'll only get the rewards if you are victorious in your fight. So if you ask me, I think it makes more sense to take 2 shots at this one and get all of these rewards rather than finishing off the single line here, getting this small set of rewards, coming here and just getting some of these Valor emblems, but leaving all the insignia and the crystals on the table. So that's something you'll have to think about based on your performance in these fights the last time around, and what your guild needs you to do and everything. But I would skip this one before any others. And then also having to do with the timing of how you're going to play out the week, I think it makes the most sense to attack these squads here that have the random small minions in it before the bosses and the mini bosses here. And the reason I say that is the buffs that you can get aren't going to help you against these minions. They're things like fighting defensive spheres and dealing with nightmares and all sorts of meteor buffs and things that help you against the boss or some of these mini bosses. But right now, I've got no Valor here to purchase any of these options. So I want to fight these squads first and then get some of the buffs that will help me against those mini bosses. Alright, I'm not going to get into the details of every line item in the shop because it would make this video longer than I want it to be. But I'm going to wrap up here with just a quick summary of the Asgard raid, the minion section, with just a recap of the tips. First, wait until Thursday so you've got all the options available. You can pick them in the order that makes the most sense for you rather than the order that the game throws them at you. Take a look at those resources that are given for winning each squad because they're not the same across the board. They vary pretty considerably from minion to minion, and you want to skip over the ones that give low reward if you're gonna if you think you might have any defeats along the way. And keep in mind that if you do have defeats, finishing off that node is better than getting halfway through another one. You're going to get some valor out of getting halfway through one of the fights, but you won't get any of those crystals. And if you ask me, you do more service to your guild by getting those crystals and insignia and leveling up your heroes. That'll help you for this week and every week moving forward, whereas just getting a couple more points of valor will help the guild out this week and this week only. So, I think you should focus on the development of your heroes in the long term. And then, so the order of approach, once you wait till Thursday, everything's available to you, is knock out some of those squads first, the ones that are built up of 5, 10, or 15 of the smaller minions. Then you do your shopping for buffs, because they might help you against the mini-bosses. And then go ahead and attack the mini-bosses, and if you get those buffs that help you against defensive spheres, for example, there are a few of the mini-bosses that utilize them. So those buffs can help you against them. Alright, I hope this helped you out. If it did, please share this with the rest of your guild so they can take some conclusions away from this as well. Thanks for sticking out to the end, and I'll see you next time.